What use is an F-call? In the normal day-to-day interaction between amateurs on air, we use the procedure to say the other station's call sign followed by our own. If there's two people on air, this is a simple way to have a discussion. But what if there are more? If it's informal, we tend to talk in a circle. That is, we keep handing the microphone to the next person in the line. For this to work, you need to remember who comes after you so you can hand it over to them. If you want to join a discussion like this, say your call sign between handovers and you'll be asked to join in. It's best to wait for a whole circuit so you know who's in the discussion and what the sequence of people is. Again, you need to remember who comes after you. Sometimes this descends into an anyone talks to anyone, but often that means that one or more people miss out. So be mindful of those who are sitting on the side. They too might have something to share. If the discussion is a more regular occurrence, it might turn into a more formal thing called a net. There are many different ways of managing a net, but all of them require that you leave some time between each over to allow new people to check in, or for the net controller, often the convener of the net, to manage the net. A net can be run with a master controller. Picture it like a spoke and hub. The controller sits in the middle, like a chairperson in a meeting, and you speak to the chair. They hand the microphone to the next person, so the controller will call you and you'll call them. You only need to remember their call sign, and yours of course. To join in, announce your call sign between overs, and the next station should acknowledge you, and if it's the controller, will invite you in. Sometimes you'll be next, sometimes you'll be added to the list, and sometimes you'll be placed where the controller thinks it fits best. If you have urgent business, you might say your call sign with the words "with urgent business," so the controller can hand the microphone to you sooner. The 7130DX net has a controller. Often it's Roy, VK7ROY, in Tasmania. He'll call for stations to check in and create the master list. He'll then call for stations wanting to make a contact. Roy will run through the contact list, encouraging each station to make 1 or 2 DX contacts. When the call list is done, Roy will ask for more stations on the master list, and so on. As an F-call, it's a great way to be heard and make some DX contacts. As a tip, write down each call sign, name and signal strength you hear, since it'll help you figure out who Roy is talking to, and it'll help you figure out who you might be able to contact. A station in the USA with a signal strength of 2 might not be able to hear your station. Then again, they might. Each on-air discussion has its own set of conventions or rules. It pays to have a listen to the discussion before you barge in. If two guys are on air discussing their personal lives, they might not want to talk to you and may ignore you. On the other hand, they might want to hear your contribution, since they too were new hams at one point in their life. Have a listen to on-air discussion. Be respectful and participate. It's lots of fun and often leads to lifetime friendships. I'm Ono, Victor Kilo 6 Foxtrot Lima Alpha Bravo.